Hybrids may be everywhere nowadays, but the original Toyota Prius was one of the first to introduce us to the idea. In fact, it was so far ahead of the game that we're already onto the 4th generation of the car. But now, as then, it uses the very latest in petrol-electric hybrid technology to provide a cleaner, more cost-effective alternative to conventional family cars. Quite rightly, people will concentrate on the technology that's inside the Prius, but what's on the outside is no less radical. Inspired by the company's hydrogen fuel cell car, the Mirai, it features similar LED headlights and these triangular fog lights set low down into the front bumper. The profile rises dramatically from the front of the car towards the rear, and the body's covered in an amazing mix of curves, creases and folds. Truth is, it's all done to improve the car's aerodynamics, but hey, it looks pretty smart too. Just one word of warning though, these 17-inch wheels may look great, but in fact they increase the car's CO2 emissions and therefore your tax bill. Anyone who's keeping a really keen eye on their pennies should specify the alternative 15-inch wheels. The Prius's interior is every bit as futuristic as its exterior, with loads of swooping panels and a dazzling mix of colours. It's all pretty easy to use too, and this standard touchscreen is as good as this tech gets these days. You may not warm to these centrally mounted instruments at first, but putting them there does mean that none of them are ever obscured by your hands on the wheel, and it gives a great view of the road ahead. Sadly, it's a very different story looking to the rear, because the bar that holds the wiper on that rear screen seriously reduces your visibility. On the other hand, what has been very neatly done is that the hybrid's batteries are hidden away under the rear seats, so they don't eat into the space. And although the cabin is a little narrower than a Ford Mondeo's, there's plenty of room in the front, and thanks to that almost flat floor in the rear, 3 people can travel there without playing footsie. The boot too is a perfectly reasonable size, a little shallow perhaps, but more than up to the challenges of family life. Around town, the hybrid system really comes into its own, and with a delicate right foot, you can drive around totally on electric power in near silence. However, when you want to push on a bit, the initially slow response can be really frustrating, and the frantic jump in engine revs that follows is totally at odds with the fairly leisurely increase in speed. Admittedly, things do get much better at above about 40 miles an hour, but you can never really rid yourself of the feeling that you're being told off every time you go near the accelerator with any sort of intent. Otherwise, the Prius is a decent, if not terribly engaging thing to drive. Once you're out of town, the ride is mostly nice and comfortable. Although you are conscious of a slightly nose-heavy feel to the car, thanks to the low centre of gravity and the good grip, you need to be getting quite a lick on in tight bends before those economy-based tyres start to get all hot and bothered. The Prius is certainly a good car. It's smart-looking, well-equipped and comfortable. But we can't help finding it slightly joyless. The kind of car you'd choose after consulting a spreadsheet rather than listening to your heart. Yep, we can't deny the attraction of its low running costs, but we'd recommend it much more highly if it was a little more engaging to drive. If you enjoyed watching this video, click the button below to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or leave us a comment and let us know what you think of the Toyota Prius.